In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to do SQL injections and what they are. This is only for educational purposes, and if you get in trouble, it is not on me. Do not come crying to me. Discord link in the description. So here we have our code. Select from users where username example account and password equals password123. Now this is from an SQL database. Pretty much what an SQL database is, it's a database, of course, that holds little bits of information, mostly used for passwords. So we're gonna draw this little database here real quick. This information is pulled between the database and the PC. So we have our server here, and our server is holding this database. So when the user logs in, this right here is the username. So if they input this username, then it will run a check and check if they've input the username. And if they've input the password, it will run a check and check if they've input the password. If they haven't input the password correctly, it will return with a Boolean value of false. Boolean value of true and a Boolean value of false is a possibility in a lot of codes, but so when you do this, as you can see, a code has vulnerabilities. This is what's called a string. Let's just highlight this real quick. This is what's called a string. A string is a value of, or a string of letters. A string is a string of letters. Mind this handwriting. So this text does not directly affect all the other bits of the code. It only affects the area that is input in. So what we can do with this newfound information is break out of the string. So you see these comments here, right here, on the edges? This is what's keeping it as a string. This is what identifies the thing as a string. So if we were to go to our password input and in the password box, let's just say there's a box right here. Just imagine there being a box. You would write the username of the account you want to log into. Then you would write, depending on what the language is using, this or this, one of these two. And now for this example, we are going to use just a single air quote. So this pretty much what this does is it breaks out of the code. It breaks out of the string because the string is ended by one of these little air quotes. And by having an extra air quote, it will confuse the system and you'll have two air quotes. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to add an or, then we put a string, which identifies a new string. 1 string end equals, or let's just string open 1. And you might think we're going to put a string end. No, we're not going to do that since there is already a string here, because right here there's already a breakpoint. So this is going to pretty much break apart the code into this one little area and create this new entire box of code, which will confuse your server and let you log in. So it pretty much creates an extra value that it checks if it's true, and if it's true, you get to log in. Now, this is the vulnerability that a lot of sites have had, especially sites if you're just an aspiring creator and you want to create a site, make sure you have some sort of preventative for things like this. Because if you don't, then all the accounts on your site are at serious risk of being